Jimmy, what kind of pal are you? How can you laugh at this heartbreaking movie?
Don't ask questions, just keep bawling, Superman. Every teardrop is precious to me.
It had to be done. The infamous cover of Jimmy Olsen collecting Superman's tears. What is the story behind it? Is it as glorious as the cover promises? Well, that's what we're here to find out. I'm Sasha and this is Casually Comics, a channel where we chat all things comics, reviews comics new and old, to history to anecdotes, really wherever our whims take us. This is Behind the Cover, that's what we're calling it right now. It's very dramatic. It's a series where we take a look at out there covers, mostly Silver Age, to see if the contents can possibly live up to the promises of madness within. Jimmy collecting Superman's tears with an eyedropper comes to us from Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen 125 in the year 1969. So at the tail end of the Silver Age, some stories had already begun to transition into Bronze Age level storytelling and some were fully there. Not this one though. This is pure silver all the way. You can store it under your mattress for when society collapses. The story that goes along with this fine cover is Superman's Saddest Day, which was written by Leo Dorfman with art by P. Costanza. Our teaser page features a truly diabolical looking Jimmy collecting 4 sets of tears into a test tube. These are the tears of a clown. These tears are being shed by Superman, who is a Kryptonian. These tears flow from the eyes of a king, and these tears come from a killer. When the tears of these 4 are mixed together in this vial, the result will be to create a strange and awesome power. But to accomplish this, Jimmy Olsen must cause his best pal to suffer grief. Jimmy may consider Superman to be his best pal, but is the feeling mutual? Maybe not after this issue. We open on Jimmy. He's on vacation in the Caribbean. He's scuba diving. But Jimmy can't do anything without something shocking happening to him, so he's sucked into an undertow and he finds some sunken treasure. Well, actually he finds a sunken ship. No treasure for him. Poor Jimmy. He decides to pillage it in search of treasure. He's a pirate now. But he finds nothing except a book, Ye Lost Oracles of Nostradamus. Despite just sitting at the bottom of the ocean, this book is fine. It's not mush. Jimmy can take it ashore and flip through it. All he says is that water has faded the pages.
The Lost Oracles of Nostradamus. He was the 16th century prophet whose predictions all came true.
Wow, it sure is nice that Jimmy found this book in English and not in the 4-language code that Nostradamus usually wrote his prophecies in. It's fine, Jimmy's not suspicious. He has a totally legitimate prophecy to read.
Who gathers tears from king and clown, from killer and Kryptonian of renown?
Hey, it rhymes, that's accurate. Nostradamus did write his prophecies in 4-line verses usually.
And mixes the potion quick as he can, will acquire a power unknown to man.
Jimmy instantly believes this to be accurate and figures of course Nostradamus would know about Superman because he could see the future. He immediately jumps to the idea that this potion will give him powers of some kind. And if we know anything about Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, is that he has not met a power that he will turn down, even if he doesn't like it. His first thought is that he'll be able to turn everything he touches into jewels. Take those Midas fantasies down a level, Jimmy. Jimmy has 2 more weeks of vacation left, so he decides to dedicate all of it to collecting these tears. The world will tremble before Jimmy Olsen. First up, to find a king. So he travels to the island of Dominia to try to get tears from a King Miguel. And when the guards say they'll throw him in the dungeon, 5 years dungeon, he says to relax, he's looking for a job. And they say that's great, because they need a cook. Is he qualified? Doesn't matter, get in the kitchen. The king keeps killing cooks, executing them because they can't keep up with his appetite. Good luck, Jimmy. The princess comes to warn Jimmy that her father cannot be sated and that Jimmy is too handsome to die. And young. Too young and handsome.
My very thoughts, princess baby.
You! 1,000,000 years dungeon.
Jimmy's still trying to get those tears, so he figures he'll do it by making a very spicy and oniony sandwich, one that will bring tears to the eyes. But the joke's on him. The king loves the sandwich and dubs it the hero sandwich. Jimmy's just too good. All the food he makes they love, no matter how bizarre he makes it. In fact, it's so good, it makes the princess fall in love with him. Never have I met a man as handsome and talented. You're irresistible, my adorable one. It was love at first bite. I mean, sight.
Loretta, control yourself.
Pah, Jimmy came for tears, not love. But Loretta bursts into the throne room and tells her father she's going to marry Jimmy. So delicious. This causes her father to burst into tears, for Jimmy is a commoner who can cook. Jimmy is thrilled, so he pulls some 3D chess emotional manipulation, telling Loretta she can't do this to her people, they need her, and look at how distraught her father is. He'll go, lest he disrupt the balance of the kingdom, but not before he sucks some tears off of the table with an eyedropper. Next up, clown tears. Jimmy hears tell, or reads tell, in the newspaper of a famous clown coming to Gotham to audition for a role in a new movie. The lead actress will be there to audition him, and Batman will be with her to guard her diamond necklace, and to avoid the more gritty crimes of Gotham. Okay, so Jimmy has a plan to get these tears. He's gonna go in and ruin Clarence the Clown's chances, just destroy them.
When his act flops in front of Gina Sophia, he'll break down and cry. Of course, I'll explain to Miss Sophia later.
I would pay to see that. You see the tears. I needed the tears. He's good, I swear, hire him.
But a gorilla rips off his disguise, so he can't do it. Thankfully for him, the Joker shows up in an extremely rare appearance for the time period and tries to steal the necklace.
The Joker actually went through a very long hiatus in Batman comics, re-emerging firmly in the Bronze Age. I initially thought it was DC-wide, but he'll pop up every now and again in other books that aren't Batman. And who knows, maybe there's like one or two snuck in there, but they're very small, brief moments, and he's completely harmless in them. He's very unmodern Joker-like, very Silver Age to the max, and sometimes he's drawn extremely off-model like here. He's so harmless here that Jimmy is able to rope him down himself, and then the Joker starts crying. Tears for Jimmy. It's too bad it isn't Bronze Age Joker, because then he could have knocked off 2 sets of tears at once. Tears of a killer and a clown. 2 for the price of 1.
Jimmy, what's with the eyedropper bit? I get it. You're starting some new kind of trophy collection.
Yes, that's it. Just collecting tears. Nothing to see there. Don't put them on a list or anything, Batman. You should. You really should. Killer tears. Now, Jimmy probably could have found a killer close to home, but he decides, he's on vacation. He'll go somewhere exotic. That's not really why he decides. He just goes somewhere far away.
He flies off to a foreign country, an unnamed one, where a man is set to be executed for assassinating the Prime Minister.
He figures he'll go in, get the interview, even though he's not actually working, so he lied to get in there, and the man will feel so much remorse, just tears for days. Of course, he forgot or didn't think about the fact that he was dealing with a revolutionary who was trying to incite a coup. So the interview is basically, I did it and I'm glad, and I'd do it again. He stays for the beheading even though he can't watch it when lo, tears from the executioner.
So he just starts sucking them right off the man's face.
Yes, my friend. Executions are heartbreaking. They always affect me this way.
If that's the way you feel, why don't you quit your job?
Because it's the only trade I know. My father was the official executioner too, and my grandfather before him. What else can I do?
Poor guy, but I have problems of my own.
Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. Next up, Superman himself, and Jimmy abuses the signal watch to get him to come right to him. In a moment that absolutely shocked me, given how devious Jimmy has been this entire story, he just tells Superman what's going on and even shows him the prophecy.
Wait, Jimmy, this mysterious superpower might be dangerous, uncontrollable.
What's wrong, pal? Worried about a little competition? Afraid I might get a power you don't have?
Well, I am now.
Jimmy demands that Superman take him to the fortress, which he does.
He's my best pal, but brother, what an ego.
He is? Why? Pete and Bruce have left the chat.
So Jimmy's plan is to take Superman to stare at the bust of his dead Kryptonian parents.
How do you like that, Superman? Your parents are dead. And when he doesn't cry, he accuses him of being heartless.
Superman says he's not and shows him the archive footage of Krypton blowing up, which makes him tear up. This gives Jimmy an idea. He puts on a documentary about Smallville from when Superman was Superboy, and it makes Superman just break down.
Jimmy assumes it's because of nostalgia.
I knew that bit of sentimental nostalgia would turn you on. Hold it, Superman. I want some of those precious tears.
Are we going to admit that Jimmy is a supervillain and just doesn't know it?
Clark is actually crying because he's thinking about how his parents are buried there. So I guess the your parents are dead bit worked. Jimmy just got the wrong ones.
So Jimmy adds the final tears. But nothing seems to be happening except the test tube is now glowing.
Jimmy instantly gives up, thinking he wasted his time, and says it's a useless neon tube, so Superman can have it.
But Jimmy doesn't know that Superman is playing him. There's actually something really dangerous inside the tube.
It's a nuclear bomb.
That's right, all you need is those 4 sets of tears. It's that easy. Superman takes it and detonates it on a dead planet to save us all from Jimmy Olsen. The end.
What a tale. Now, of course, there are many silly elements.
The magic tear potion, Nostradamus' lost prophecy,
although finding the lost prophecy was less ridiculous than how he found it and what it was.
But the absolute standout of this entire story is Jimmy going full-on villain to get these tears. He lies, he manipulates, he just goes for full-on emotional warfare for powers he doesn't even know what they will be or if they even exist.
This was on the off chance he would even get them because he found a mysterious book at the bottom of the ocean. He was willing to destroy everything.
We all need to be afraid of Jimmy.
Does this story live up to the cover?
I'd say it surpasses it. The cover just promises you Superman his saddest day, and while it never gives you his saddest day, it does give you all the extra tear collections, and they're pretty out there. Plus, the way he does get the tears from Superman, ice cold.
This story goes so hard and ends up being far more amusing for it. Just to have it then end after Jimmy throws everything at it with, guess it didn't work, better luck next time, I'll take you out when I get powers then, Superman. He doesn't even apologize.
During the documentary, Jimmy's just trying to break him. Like, kids come on screen and he goes, I bet most of those kids were your childhood friends. Calm down, Jimmy. The fact that it's a bomb and Superman doesn't tell Jimmy definitely confirms he knows the darkness in Jimmy's heart.
Although part of me longs for a realistic version where it's a dud and then Jimmy just has to go home and reevaluate his life and think about how hard he went. There are many morally dubious Jimmy stories out there, but this one stands a cut above. Very entertaining.
Though I can see some wishing that this whole tale had just been Jimmy messing with Superman trying to get him to cry. Tell me your thoughts down below. Did this go how you thought it would? Did you enjoy it?
Or too silly for your blood, or too cruel for your blood, or you're now afraid of Jimmy Olsen?
Do you think it exceeded the cover, or didn't even live up to it? Let me know your thoughts down below. And while you're down there, please do all the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so that you never miss a vid. Thanks so much for taking this day spent discussing comics with me. I always appreciate it. I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.